What defines you?
What defines you?
I ask first.
There's nothing I wouldn't do for my daughter.
Mrs. Michaels? Mr. Michaels asked me to give this to you.
I know you're a fan of the book, Miss Garner, so tell me a little bit, firstly, about how Laura's book first hooked you.
I was hooked reading Laura's book as I read it aloud to my middle child at bedtime. And I honestly could not stop. It was time for bed. It was time for me to move on to my eldest child. And I would just feel compelled to say one more chapter, one more chapter. We had the best time. And over again, I sent that kid to bed with both of us just like, what just happened? You know, like they would get home from school and it would just be like, oh my gosh, can you believe it? Can you wait to get back to it? So it was super, super fun for us to read. And on every level, you know, we loved the thriller element, and the thriller element, even if it had been straightforward, would have been so exciting. But she just keeps turning it on its head. You just keep having one cliffhanger after another, just one jaw-dropping moment after another. And then on top of that, the mother-daughter relationship and watching these two women grow into being mother and daughter, that's just the most beautiful story ever.
So then how did you get the role of Hannah? Because I know originally Julia was supposed to do it. And then I saw on your Instagram that you were excited because you were going to get cast to play Hannah. So were you out there campaigning then, or how does this get to you?
Well, you can never be sad if Julia Roberts is going to play a role because she's Julia Roberts. And so I could only be excited for that as a fan of the book. But as soon as I heard that she had fallen out for scheduling problems, I felt a pit in my stomach of how could I stand someone else playing Hannah? And I have to just go for it, which is something I hadn't really done in a long time. And I put my kids to bed, and I knew that I had to be speedy before the rest of, you know, all of my peers perked up and said, wait a minute, I love that book. I want to get in there. But I knew I loved the book the most. And so I just got my kids to bed, and I, you know, made some coffee, and I stayed up all night writing letters about why I, you know, just advocating for myself. And then the next night I did it again. And so bit by bit, and, you know, lucky for me, Reese was on my side and Lauren Neustaedter. And so bit by bit, they chipped away until here I am.
Was it easy for you to slip back into thriller mode? Because you did it 20 years ago with Alias, a show both me and my wife absolutely love.
Oh, I'm so glad. I love being in that mode. I love when the stakes are so high. You have no option but to fight, run, flee, go towards something terrifying, do something. I love when you are driven by the stakes and you still have to keep the character alive inside of that moment. That to me is just a really exciting thing to play. So yeah, that was something that I dropped into really easily.
Favorite character you've ever played? I mean, there's so many cool ones over your career. Do you have a favorite?
Oh my gosh, a favorite character I've ever played? Oh, man, how would you? I mean, I'd have to say Sydney, or I'd have to say Jenna Rink. I don't know. They're two sides of a coin, but how can I not have Sydney Bristow be my favorite character? It's JJ. Yeah.
So that leads me to, I mean, I feel like every couple of years I see Alias reboot talk. I've gone down so many wormholes on that show. You wouldn't believe, Miss Garner, but over the years, we had all the Blu-rays, all the DVDs.
Oh my gosh, you're making my day.
So what is there any chance Sydney's going to come back or what?
I don't know. You'd have to ask JJ. I don't know that's never really come up other than for me out in the world and in junkets. But I don't think when I see JJ that he doesn't seem to be offering it up. So
Your husband is not who you think he is.
Why are you making him sound like some criminal mastermind? I may not know why your father did what he did, but I know who he is.
He lied to me, and then he disappeared, and I want to know the truth.
I'm telling you, we'll find him.